Okay, this video is going to cover one of the most important parts of your research paper. As far as the formatting goes, one of the most often run into problems on MLA format is how to format the quotation. So again, for a more detailed look, you can go to the Purdue Online Writing Lab, click on where it says MLA Formatting Quotations, and it's going to talk about how do you format short quotations and long quotations. How do you add or omit words in quotations? I'm going to show you really quickly how to do short and long quotations. You should be familiar with how to do the short quotation format from our previous lessons. But as a quick review here, you can see I have an intro phrase for this quote. I've kind of built up to it with some background information. I have my initial quotation marks. I have the quote itself, my closing quotation marks, then I move the punctuation outside of the internal parenthetical citation, which is the author's last name in parentheses. We need to make sure we do those each time, because remember, this last name corresponds to our works cited page. If you go all the way down to our works cited page, you can look. There's the last name of the author, and there is the reference. This actually comes from an album, a CD. What makes a short quotation considered a short quotation is as long as it is 4 lines, the quote goes 4 lines or less. So if you look on here, even though it's just one word on the fourth line, on the third line here, this is a 3-line quotation. So that is still considered a short quotation. Now, if we go a little bit further in the paper, we can find longer quotations. This is where it gets tricky. You can see here we've got a quotation. It's got an intro phrase, okay? I've got my initial quotation mark, but if you look, this quotation goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on to a 5th line. So this is what MLA would consider a long quotation. Long quotations need to be formatted completely differently, like this. You change your punctuation. This then is, you press return to bring it onto another line. You actually indent the whole entire quote, and then this is the really strange part. You remove the quotation marks. Okay? And you can also put the punctuation back where it originally was, like that. All of your long quotations should look like this, okay? They should always be set off. And when the quote is finished, make sure to press return and make sure that the next line that's no longer a part of the quote is back aligned all the way to the left, so that the quote is very clearly, when you're reading through, you can see it set apart to the right here, so we know that this is a very long quotation. The reason that they ask you to do this is when it's a quote that long, we don't want it to be confused with your words, and we don't want any plagiarism to be confused. So it's set off like this so that to our eye, when we're looking at it, we can tell, okay, this is a long chunk written by another person. Pay close attention to all of your quotes in your paper and make sure that the long quotes are in the correct format and that the short quotes are in the correct format. If you need more information on this, visit the OWL at Purdue.